Hello, Simone.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello? Yeah, all right, okay, cool. All right. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you for calling in.
Simone, for at least my sake, can you lay out your argument in a straightforward, coherent fashion for the slow ones like me?
Yeah, so this is more like a thought I had, just to kind of my thought process is not necessarily to prove or disprove. It's more about trying to kind of get to the point where I understand what is true or not. And so I thought, say if we are part of, our reality, okay? So we know that we exist. Our thoughts, so what we think, they need to be part of the same reality. So they should exist as well. And if we think
So
God
can we
exists,
pause there? Because I feel like this is going to be a really long, broken syllogism. Are you suggesting that thoughts exist in that, like, they have like some sort of metaphysical ontology the same way like I exist?
not necessarily. I mean, our thoughts are part of what we think and what we are. So because we exist, then our thoughts exist as well, right?
Well, our thoughts are produced. Sorry, go ahead, Boris.
Right. No, I this is gonna sound like I'm being a jerk, and I am a little bit. I need to know, like, Simone, like, is this actually your reason for believing in a God? Or is this just a fun thought experiment about, like, if I imagine a 7-headed hippo dragon, then that technically exists because my thoughts technically exist? Like, is this actually a reason that anyone should believe in a God?
I don't know, actually.
Okay, I can imagine a creature that eats gods that ate your god. Does your god no longer exist because it's been eaten by my imaginary thought creature?
Possibly not.
Right, because that would be silly, right? Because thoughts are just thoughts. And while thoughts do exist in the reality that we live in because they're created by our brains, they are not real things that have, like, real impact on the world around us unless we produce that impact. They just stay in our brain. So again, I ask, like, do you actually believe in a God because you can imagine a God? Or do you have a different reason for believing in a God that you would actually use to justify belief in anything else ever?
Well, this is my question is, do I really believe in a God that exists? I don't have the answer for that.
You don't know if you believe a thing?
Yeah, you don't know what you believe? I'm lost now.
Kind of. I mean,
rough. That's real rough.
Well, I mean, we agree on one thing. Neither one of us know what you believe. Neither Forrest nor you.
I don't get the point, man. Like, if you don't know whether, like, it's okay to say you're agnostic, that you don't know if there is a God or not, but saying you don't know what you even think about the matter, that's a different claim entirely. So is that what you're trying to say, that you're agnostic to whether or not there is a God? Or are you saying you do believe that there is a God?
I would like to believe that there is a God, but I'm not convinced.
Okay. Why do you want to believe that there is a God?
Well, if let's assume if there is a heaven or a hell, I would rather go to heaven. So
Okay. What if there's a different heaven and a different hell than the one that you believe in, and you go to the different hell? What if you believe in the Christian God and you go to the Muslim hell?
That's a good point.
What kind of a god would create a hell anyways? It's such an arbitrary invention. Like, I can certainly understand a god wanting to like segregate itself from somebody who is wicked. I certainly have no idea why a god would want to light them on fire for all of eternity. That is entirely nonsensical. Also, how do spirits burn in fire?
True, but the thing is, between the two, if effectively there is a God, I would rather go to heaven than hell. Whether they do exist or not, I don't know, and nobody really knows.
I think we can all agree that we would rather not be lit on fire for eternity. I'm not sure there's much debate there. The question is whether or not it's even rational to be concerned about that. Why would anyone be concerned that there's some petulant sky daddy up there who's like so upset that you don't worship it that it's going to light you on fire for a trillion years? Why? How is that a sensible thing to believe in?
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's just that from a Christian point of view, you know, in the foundation of Christianity, you know, you have that belief of heaven or hell. So, yeah.
So just to be clear, do you like in the Bible, like it talks about, it depends on which verse you read, but like it's pretty clear that like you don't have to just randomly believe, you also have to do the believey things and like be sincere about it and all those things. So if you believe that part of the Bible and you believe in God, then it doesn't matter, because you're not going to pull one over on the smartest being in the universe. You're not going to trick the most intelligent creature in existence into letting you into his theme park. And in a more rational sense, if we're really analyzing what kind of person this God is, because the question isn't just whether or not a God exists. If the God does exist, what God are we talking about? We're talking about the God of the Bible, the God of Islam, or the God of whatever these big monotheistic gods. This God isn't worth anything, or isn't worth worshiping, isn't worth aligning yourself with, isn't worth sacrificing your dignity and your humanity for. So why would you want to go to heaven? You're just doing this to avoid suffering. And that should tell you everything you need to know about this God, that this God would hurt you because you didn't think the right thoughts for a brief moment of time.
Okay. I mean, makes sense, yeah. Definitely makes sense.
Yeah. It sounds like you're just maybe a little bit afraid of hell, and that happens. I think a lot of us went through it. But the reality is, like, the more you think about the hell, the less sense it makes, and the less sense it makes, the less reason to be afraid of it. Once you've thought about it long enough and it becomes utterly ridiculous in your mind, like being afraid of it just sounds equally as ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's not only about making sense of hell or heaven. It's just making sense of the whole Christian, you know, philosophy and teachings, you know, because I don't know if you remember, but I think it was like on the 29th that we spoke at, I was on your show.
I recall.
And you gave me kind of food for thoughts, you know, and then I kind of done a bit of thinking, and then I kind of came out with this, you know, if we are part of reality and we think, you know, that God exists, then why is he not part of the same reality? And I'm just trying to to understand, and I think I'm kind of getting into that kind of deconstruction path, and I'm just curious, you know. I just want to understand what I've been taught, you know, since I was a kid up to now. why I have, questions, and why, I'm not so sure about, God, and, apart from Christianity, all the other, religions, I don't understand. There are so many things there that are not right, in religion, and I just want to understand why I'm so hung up on Christianity in a sense, but I'm going through a process of, probably understanding a bit more, but I still have questions, so.
Well, I think it takes time. As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. It took me dang near 10 years to deconstruct to the point where I'm at. So like, it's a slow process. You're gonna slowly work through all the individual items, and eventually you'll probably come up with something that you feel is like something you can hold on to, something that you can say, okay, I've thought about it, and this is the thing that makes the most sense. And then you can move forward, right? So it sounds like you're near the beginning of your deconstruction. At the beginning of your deconstruction, you have way more questions than answers, and that's okay. Just go ahead and do the work on the questions you have right now, and when you work through them, we'll probably give you some more questions.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right, Simone, thanks for
It's been
calling
fun,
in, and good to
Simone.
hear from you again.
Okay, thank you very much. Yep.
Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.